Hello friends, this is Grief speaking. Zombies are a consistently popular horror trend in America and have been for quite some time. We think of them as just part of the pop culture, having hundreds of films, books, and television shows all based around the topic. But what if I told you that in other parts of the world the undead aren't taken so lightly? What if these abominations were thought to be real? What if, when you heard a bump in the night, you actually believed it to be the dead rising up and walking again? Well, for some communities in Tibet, this isn't just local folklore. Today I'm going to tell you about the Rolling, what many Tibetan people believe to be real Himalayan zombies. And by the end of this video, maybe you'll believe in them too. Or not. I mean, I don't have a face, so what the fuck do I know?
So, what are the Rolling? Rolling translates to a risen corpse, and there are two ways a Rolling can manifest. The first is a Tantric Rolling. This is a corpse that is reanimated by a dark sorcerer or witch called Dugpa using a series of rituals. This Rolling is usually controlled by the sorcerer who raised it and must obey commands by them. This is usually done for evil purposes, like infecting a community.
I mean, yeah, it's not like you're going to revive the corpse for good purposes. You're not going to perform some sacred ritual just to have them, do the dishes and your laundry and shit. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Write that down.
The second type of Rolling is demonic. This is when an evil spirit possesses the body of a person upon death. This person is considered to have lived an unclean life or have broken a solemn vow or promise. This allows the spirit to enter the body after death. The Rolling are said to not be able to speak. This might be due to their engorged black tongues that protrude out of their mouths and wag from side to side. The tongue is cited as a common weakness of the Rolling and is thought to be the very soul of the creatures. Many stories report that if the tongue is cut off, the Rolling will turn to fine dust.
Honey, can you grab the dustpan? I got another one.
The Rolling don't seem to feel pain and have extreme endurance, as well as resistance to the cold weather. This allows them to easily traverse the snowy terrain of the Himalayas. Their bodies are extremely stiff, and they can't bend over at the waist. This is the reason that many old Tibetan houses have low entrances as a way of deterring the Rolling from entering their homes.
I kind of like the idea that these disgusting, hideous creatures that are literally possessed by demons can be stopped with the game of Limbo.
So what is the best way to kill a Rolling? Well, first I should point something out. Tibetans don't really accept the term kill because the creatures are already dead. They instead use the term fall over. So the more appropriate question is, how can a Rolling be made to fall over? Well, as mentioned before, the tongue is said to be one weak point, but that depends on the type of Rolling. Now, this is where I'm going to start sounding like a Back 4 Blood Let's Play, but there are 5 types of Rollings that have different weaknesses. Skin Rolling, Blood Rolling, Flesh Rolling, Bone Rolling, and Mole Rolling. The names are obviously associated with their weaknesses. For example, a skin Rolling can be destroyed by breaking the skin, a bone Rolling by breaking a bone, etc. The mole is perhaps the most difficult to take out because it can be hard to identify exactly where the mole is on the body.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it might be hard to get Zombie Grandpa to bend over and spread them.
As I was doing more research on the Rolling, I have to say I was curious what the ritual process was for resurrecting a corpse, and the only first-hand account I could find was truly bizarre. The celebrant is shut up alone with a corpse in a dark room. To animate the body, he lies on it, mouth to mouth, and while holding it in his arms, he must continually repeat in his mind the same magic formula, excluding all other thoughts. This account goes into more detail about how you have to keep your mouths touching and hold the corpse down even as it starts to thrash around violently. So yeah, unless you want to lip tickle a rotting corpse that'll probably kill you, maybe the whole zombie slave thing isn't the best idea.
There are hundreds of first-hand stories about the Rolling, and they seem to be similar to the way Americans talk about ghosts. There may not be any clear scientific evidence that the Rolling exists, but it is curious how widely accepted the stories are, so much so that many homes in Tibet are built differently in order to keep them out. Are the tales of the Rolling simply folklore, or is there a chance that people have truly encountered the dead rising? What do you think? As always, thanks for listening, and goodbye, friends.